What's up, guys? Sad understand. How's everyone doing? So today is my off day. I came in for some light cardio, stretch, some shoulder rehab exercises. My shoulders are doing great. I don't have any major injuries, but to keep them that way, I do some rehab. If you do rehabilitation is when you get injured, you rehabilitate. But if you do them prior to injury, you're going to strengthen the area and be less likely to get injured. And also the rotator cuff is a muscle, contrary to common belief. So if you strengthen the muscle, you have more power. Off season, yeah, slowly, After the Olympia, I do a couple of zero carb days, very high fat, almost like a keto diet, and then one very, not very high, but like 300 to 400 carb day with no fat. And this way it eases my body into eating carbs and into the off season. Plus, I still have photo shoots and some things at the end of this month. So I'm not getting too big too quick. And also I don't want to put on too much weight. If I start eating carbs, high amounts on a daily basis, I put on weight really, really easy. So I've been training with higher intensity like I used to when I was younger, but past few years, I always train hard, I always train as heavy as I can, but real brutal high intensity I feel is tough to do all the time. Sometimes you have aches and pains, and when you're in a calorie deficit for so many years and months, it's difficult. So I kind of reverted back to that the past 2-3 weeks, and I'm feeling really good, really strong, lower volume, higher intensity. So I warm up a lot and I go really heavy, and I don't do 10 exercises, 7 exercises like a lot of people do for one body part. I think if you're able to train 3 hours, 4 hours one body part, which I can train for 10 hours, but your intensity is low. You can't be that intense at maximum intensity for that many hours. So that being said, I rest a lot more. I take a day off every 2 to 3 days. I was doing 3 days on, 1 day off. Now I'm going to do 2 days on, 1 day off, so more rest. A lot of people think, more volume works for me. It's psychological. It's difficult to rest. It's difficult to take days off the gym. You see, it's my day off and I'm still back in here. But you need rest to grow. And if you look at the old school guys, you look at Dorian, you look at the Metzler style routine, the HIIT, high intensity, max OT, it's all low volume, very high intensity. And I hear a lot of people telling me that doesn't work for me, but I don't think it's so much. People say, well, everything works for some different people, and what works for him doesn't work for me. There is some truth to that to a certain point. Some people are tolerant to more carbs, some are tolerant to more fat. But at the end of the day, we're all mammals, and we all lose weight and gain weight pretty much the same way. You may have a slower metabolism, he may have a faster metabolism, but, it's been proven that it takes a stress, a new stimulus to grow muscle. So one of 3 things has to be increasing all the time. Either intensity, how hard, how intense, how controlled, slow negatives, not shaking, more control over the weight, so on and so forth. The weight, so the poundage, going up and up and up, or volume. So you're not going to get stronger every single week. It's impossible. If that was the case, I'd be benching 3,000 pounds by now. So if you're stronger, if you're doing 200 pounds this week, you might not go up next week, but you'll do an extra rep. Or you might not even go up on the volume, or the weight, you might just be able to do it with better control and a slower negative. So one of those three things has to be, Reza, you keep asking me about my off-season. I just told you. I said the whole off-season thing because of your question. I told you guys what I'm doing easing into the off-season. And my goal is always to improve, but I don't want to put on too much weight. I can gain weight very easily. I don't have a problem doing that. And I think it's because I've been lifting for so many years. I see some people eating and killing themselves to gain weight, although most people don't eat properly or train hard enough. But I got to a certain size and I got to a certain weight naturally after 23 years of training that my body will grow easier now. I didn't grow as easy and put on weight as easy when I was younger. Don't get me wrong. Your body changes throughout the years. Yes, I'm at Bev's, but why are you on your phone if you're training? What else, guys? How much did I weigh when I was 15? I was like 135 pounds in 9th grade, so 13, 14, maybe 14. By 15, 16, I was already bodybuilding. So I was already taking creatine, drinking a gallon, eating 6 meals a day. So I think the heaviest I was in high school was 170. So maybe at 15 I was I really don't remember, between 150, 160 maybe. But that's not just sitting around watching TV. That was full-blown bodybuilding. Talk about cheat meals, please. Most of you probably shouldn't be having cheat meals. I think people don't understand what a cheat meal is. The purpose of a cheat meal, does anyone even know what the purpose of a cheat meal is? I'll wait and see if anyone knows, and then I'll answer that. Yes, you can make it starting at 22. It's a ridiculous question. I turned pro at 34 years old. Nobody knows what a cheat meal is? Or you just want to ask me other questions? Guys, if you want information for coaching or advice, you have to send me emails. I don't look through all my DMs. Alright, well, no one really knows what a cheat meal is, so I'll tell you guys. A cheat meal is technically a surplus of calories. So if you're dieting hard and you're in a calorie deficit, eating less than you're burning, right? So you're working out and burning, let's say, 2,000 calories, but you're eating 1,800, that's a 200 calorie deficit. So if you're in a calorie deficit and time has passed and you've gotten leaner and your progress starts to slow, that's another thing people don't realize why. They say, oh, I'm still training hard, I'm still doing diet, I swear I'm not cheating, why did I stop losing weight? It's because your body wants to survive. Your body does not know that it's 2018 and that you're not dying and that you want to do a bodybuilding show or you want to get a six-pack for the beach. So your body slows its metabolism in order to live longer. If your metabolism is going very fast and you're not eating, or you're eating very low calories, you're going to get leaner, 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 leaner. For us, leaner is good, but for your body, leaner is dying. So your body will break down body fat and then eventually muscle, and then you'll become malnourished and you'll die. So the body is wired to survive. So what it does when you're in a calorie deficit and you're training hard and you're getting leaner, assuming you're actually working hard and getting leaner, your metabolism slows down. So what a cheat meal is a surplus of calories, telling your body, here's a lot of calories, we're not dying. And your metabolism will jumpstart. and your body will go back to a higher rate of burning fat. So if you do this correctly, you will actually feel your metabolism higher, and you will literally, your body temperature will go up. دوستان اگه یه خود وایستین لطفاً حرف میزنم فارسی، نمیتونم دو تا انگلیسی و فارسی حرف میزنم. همه اینجا is mixed. You guys, I can't speak two languages at once, so I'll say this stuff in English and then I'll answer some in Farsi. Also بدونین که من فارسی بلد نیستم بخونم, so می‌نویسین جوابتون رو نمیتونم بدم متاسفانه. So that's what a cheat meal is. That's really what the whole reason for having a cheat meal is, just jumpstart your metabolism, not just because it's Sunday. A lot of you have body fat on you and you're not in a calorie deficit, and on the weekends you eat whatever you want, or a whole day, or even just one meal, you're actually getting fatter. Sorry to tell you, but the only way you can get away with eating a high calorie meal, which most of you are eating bad, like junk food, you know, very, very high calorie, saturated fats, processed foods, which, again, if you're working hard, you can get away with it. But a lot of you are eating like that. It's just going on top of your calories that you're eating throughout that day and that week. And if you're not at a deficit and you're not getting leaner, it's just going to make you fatter. It might not be crazy noticeable right away. It might be slowly over time putting on little fat. Do you think it's more effective to eat small portion meals every 3 hours, or just calorie intake for the day? All right, that's a good question. Omar, so the whole thing about eating 6 times a day, your metabolism, there's so many studies that prove that wrong. It doesn't matter how many meals you eat. You can eat 1 meal in the day, or you can eat 6. And on top of that, on a side note, has nothing to do with bodybuilding, it's not natural for us humans to be eating 3 meals a day, 5 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's why intermittent fasting is this new trendy, popular thing, because it's natural to humans. Early humans did not eat every day. They didn't have food. Sometimes they would go days without eating. So I don't think it matters. That being said, why do I continue to eat 5 meals a day? Because I'm hungry. And when you're trying to grow and be in a very anabolic state, I think it's good to be constantly feeding yourself. That being said, there's also new studies showing that being fasted is anabolic, and so on. See, there's no cut and dry answer. Everyone's coming out with a new theory every day, and there's truth to a lot of it. But you have to take the university studies, the controlled scientific studies, and think about them. Because none of them are done with people like us, bodybuilders. They're done with the average human being. Intermittent fasting is healthy. It's good for you. Makes you leaner. Makes you live longer. There are studies showing that it is not catabolic. There are studies showing that your growth hormone levels go up higher. And I agree with that. But if you're training extremely, extremely heavy and hard and you're fasted, let's say your growth hormones do go up, you're not going to be utilizing that as much if you have no calories in order to apply. See, if your hormones, your testosterone, your growth hormone are all elevated and they're in a good, healthy state, that's great for growing and being anabolic. But you can't just grow off of not eating, it's just air. So you do need calories at surplus in food to grow. So to answer your question, yes or no. One of the main things that I like a lot of people eating meals throughout the day is because most people can't handle only eating once or twice. My cousin, Barbo Salimi, he's on here. He's big on keto. He intermittent fasts for over 20 hours. He eats 2 meals a day, and he doesn't overeat, and he controls himself. Most people, if they don't eat all day long, they overeat and eat junk at night. So these are things you have to take into consideration. Another factor is I don't think it's good to have obscene portion sizes. One, if you're having way too much of a size of protein in a sitting, I think it's a lot of stress on your stomach to digest, and I don't think you're necessarily always going to absorb all that protein. And also, your stomach should be the size of your fist, give or take. So if you're eating enormous portions and meals, you're stretching your stomach out, and that's not a good thing. Salah, tell you something to motivate. Ask yourself why you're going to the gym. چرا داری میری باشگاه؟ چرا میخوای بری ورزش کنی؟ اگه جوابت جواب خوبی باشه واسه اینکه شغلته، عشقته، واقعا میخوای اندامتو بهتر کنی، هلثتو بهتر کنی، این موتیویشنه، چیز دیگه لازم نداری. Fasted cardio versus non-fasted cardio. Black coffee. Yeah, you could definitely have black coffee and fasted cardio. Some people will say no, because if you want to be really hardcore and truly do fasted, don't have anything. I've always done it with cardio, with caffeine, sorry. Fasted cardio is good. It's not the end all, it's not the holy grail. If you're at a calorie deficit and you're burning a lot of calories, doesn't matter what time you train or when you do cardio. I enjoy fasted cardio because I think it's an amazing way to start the day. It wakes me up, and when I'm in prep, I get into the habit. That being said, Arnold and Olympia prep, what I was doing was fasted cardio. I'd go home, I'd eat, shower, relax, and go back to the gym and train. And I feel like my calories were way too low. I think that I harmed my metabolism, especially for the Arnold, and that's why I wasn't as conditioned. So maybe I would have felt better if I was eating more fats and just better, well-rounded diet. But that being said, I think it was affecting my training. So I think what I'll try to do, I hate doing nighttime cardio, but in the future what I'm trying to do is that eat a meal, train. So the pinnacle of my day is my training. My day should revolve around my training session to be optimal. And then do some cardio after I train and later on in the day. Jeremy Buendia said he had no carb at all for a couple days. That can help to fasten your metabolism, do you believe? Reza, that's a very vague question. It's so many variables. We all do no carb, you know, even enormous, huge bodybuilders do 50 carb a day, under 100 carbs to get lean. I'm on zero carb right now. I do zero carb, very high fat, and then I have a high carb day. So one single thing is not going to help your metabolism. If you're doing zero carb but you're eating too many calories, you're not going to get leaner, you know? رضا میفهمی انگلیسی حرف میزنم؟ دوستان من واسهتون الان فارسی حرف میزنم ولی خیلی از لغت‌ها و در مورد ورزش و غذا خوردن حرف میزنیم خیلی لغت‌های بزرگ تو انگلیسی اصلا بلد نیستم. A quick tip for quitting smoking. This is a good one. First of all, you're fucking killing yourself. You don't need to know anything more than that. If you can't control yourself to stop doing something that's literally rotting you, there's a problem. Second of all, if you really want to smoke, go roll your own tobacco. When you buy a pack of cigarettes, it's how much of it is tobacco? The rest is chemicals and asphalt. So you're giving them your money for them to screw you health-wise. Third of all, this is something everyone that smokes should think about. When was the first time you had your cigarette? Why did you smoke? I don't think there's anyone, maybe one person, or maybe 1%. First time you had a cigarette, first of all, the reason you do it is to be cool or to fit in or some bullshit, or maybe curiosity. But who smokes and says, oh wow, this tastes amazing, this makes me feel great, and I love the smell. Most of you hate it. It's disgusting. but you keep doing it for a shitty reason, to fit in or to be cool, and then you become addicted. When you think of it that way, then it's so much easier to quit. چیزی که داشتم میگفتم، یک کسی در مورد سیگار ترک کردن میپرسید. یه فکر جالبی که من 10 سال پیش داشتم در مورد سیگار اینه که کیا اولا آدمایی که سیگار میکشن اولین سیگاری که کشیدن خیلی ها تو سن جوون، ولی هر وقتی که بود چرا کشیدن؟ خیلی ها میکشن که مثلا دوستاشون دارن میکشن، پوز بگیرن، کول باشن، درست؟ این خب ریزن خوبی نیست. بعداً اولین سیگاری که هممون میکشیم، ترای میکنیم، افتضاحست. کی سیگار میکشه برای اولین بار میگه به 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 چه مزه خوبی، چه بوی خوبی؟ هیچکی. افتضاحست. بوش بده، مزهش بده، سرت یه دفعه گیج میکنه. ولی هی میکشین برای یه ریزن، میبینید لغت ها رو نمیدونم، ریزن بد که واسه که دوستاتون دارن میکشن یا پوز بگیرین، هی میکشین، احساس خوبی نیست، مزه خوبی نیست، ولی هی میکنین تا عادت کردین دیگه، معتاد سیگار شدین. اگه در موردش اینطوری فکر کنین یه خود خنده داره. چیزی نیستش که مثلا ما شکلات میخوریم، مزهش خوبه، دوست داریم، کیف میکنیم یه خورده ای. سیگار اصلا اینطوری نیست. باید انقدر بکشی، آزار بکشی، خوشت نیاد تا عادت کنی. چرا به یه چیز بدی میخوای عادت کنیم؟ مرسی نیما جون. اتیتود و طرز فکر کردن همه چیه. همیشه هم آسون نیست. من بهتون خیلی چیزا رو میگم، قوی باشین، این کارو بکنین، اون کارو بکنین. من این چیزا رو یاد گرفتم خودم و کتاب خوندم، ولی این یعنی نیستش که برای منم آسونه. منم خیلی دفعه ها سخته واسم، ورزش کردن خود خستم، غذا خوب خوردن سخته و خیلی روزا، هفته ها هستش که اصلا احساسم خوب نیست یا خود تو سرم فکرهای بدی میکنم. ولی هر روز ما بیدار میشیم 2 تا چویس داریم. میتونیم بشینیم گریه کنیم، ایراد بگیریم، بگیم فلانی اینو داره، اینا تو اون کشور اونو دارن، من اینو ندارم، و انرژیتون و فکرتون رو چیزای بد یا چیزایی که ندارین بذارین و همونجا بشین و گریه کنین. یا میتونین فایت کنین. هر روز بیدار شدین بگین امروز من میرم اینو انجام میکنم. شاید سخت باشه ولی I won't give up. کویت نمی کنم، نمیشینم گریه کنم، بیشتر کار میکنم، بیشتر وقت میذارم. همه اینو دارن. برای خیلی ها خود سخت تره، برای خیلی ها آسون تره، ولی همه باید چوز کنن تو زندگی، فایت کنن، دعوا کنن، پیشرفت کنن، یا همینه که هست ایراد و گریه. Alpha Yohimbe is good. Yohimbe is good for fat burning, but be very careful. Too high of doses of Yohimbe is very dangerous. You can literally overdose and be in the hospital. That's an extreme, but I have a friend that happened to. That's why I say it. And it can give you heart palpitations. My favorite car, I don't really have one favorite car. I love all cars. I'm a huge Porsche fan. I think it's one of the best car manufacturers on the planet. I love the Porsche GT3. I love M's, BMWs, and I love Ferraris, of course, but not because of their Ferraris, but because the way they drive and feel. They're very, very sharp race cars. I'm 5'10.25". My weigh-in weight for competition is 215. My current weight is 240. But you should know that if you're following me. Colorado. What up, Masood? Beautiful place. England. I would love to, man. You know, everyone asks me why I don't come to certain places to travel. Traveling is tough when you're bodybuilding, so I have certain amount of appearances and shoots and things I have to do. So I do those, and then usually I'm not left with much more time. If I travel every month for a week, think about how tough that is physically. When you travel, food is an issue. I carry food with me, but I can only take 3 days worth of food. If I'm in another state, NutriChef will send me the food. They're amazing. They'll send it to my hotel. But in other countries, it's tough, and the food is very different. Another huge factor is the bed. When you sleep on different beds, when you're an athlete, you're very physical and you're very heavy, it's really tough, you know? Sometimes you wake up and you're just stiff, or you have a knot, or your back or neck hurts. So to give you guys an idea, I traveled to Syracuse after the Olympia. I traveled to Boston. Those are short trips. The end of this month, I go to Denver. Then I come back to New York. Then a few days later, I go to Dallas. Then from Dallas, I go straight to Dubai. Yes, I'm coming to Dubai for the muscle show. And then when I get back, hopefully I'll stay here in New York for at least a month or two. And then I'll have more travels. But I have 6 months of an off season before I get into prep, before I get into diet for the Olympia in September. So, you know, people say, oh, September Olympia is next year. It's really not that far away when you think about it like that. When you break it down into weeks and months, it's not a lot of time. And as a pro athlete, as somebody that's fighting with the best guys in the world, every day matters, every day counts. Denver, I'm gonna be in Denver. I have a shoot in Denver at the end of the month, like November 26th. But I'm only there for like 2 days. I fly in, I have a video workout shoot, and then I fly back. Lower back pain, you need to figure out why. You might have a bulging disc. You might just have tight muscles. But most likely, regardless what the injury is, it's caused by weak hamstrings and weak core. So if it's really bad and it's something that hasn't gone away and you're fighting with it for a while, go to the doctor, get it checked out, and then when you know what the diagnosis is, you can go to therapy, you can research on the computer, and you can fix it. But just hoping for it to go away, it will not. And you're probably doing a bunch of stuff that'll make it even worse. Australia, I would love to come to Australia, but I don't have any plans. Australia's got a lot of amazing and beautiful athletes. Every time I see someone in crazy shape, they're 1 out of every 3 times they're from Australia. I don't know what's up with that. What would if another bodybuilder went inside my body and took control of my body? Dude, send me whatever you're smoking. I do not use peptides. I do not recommend anyone using peptides, Reza. Reza, you sound like you need a coach, man. You're asking a lot of questions, and that's a good thing, don't get me wrong, but that means that you're eager and you're hungry, but there's a lot of stuff you don't know. So either find someone that can help you and mentor you, or do what I did. Use a computer. Hopefully soon, Masoud. You gotta come to the shows. Come to the Olympia. Dude, what would I do if a man with a big belly went inside my body and gave me a big belly? Are you for real, or are you just messing around? This is the weirdest question I've ever read in my life. Percentage of fat allowed by women? 8% is very low. I don't know what you mean by allowed. There's no such thing. But 8% is extremely low for a woman. I don't know how you got to that number. But body fat measures are all incorrect. So I wouldn't really focus too much on what some kind of bullshit device is telling you. It's probably wrong. Just go by your eye. If you're too lean as a woman, you're not going to produce estrogen. You won't get your menstrual cycle. It's not healthy. But 8% is very low for a woman. Fasted cardio will, of course, any cardio will affect your strength relative to calories. If I do 3 hours of cardio a day, but I'm eating 10,000 calories, I'm fine. But when you're dieting for a show and you're at a calorie deficit, you're going to be weaker. Now you're at a calorie deficit and you introduce cardio, you're even going to be weaker than that. So it's relative. A lot of the questions you guys ask me have so many variables. There's no cut and dry answer. That's what scares me. A lot of people answer these questions for you guys on DMs or live. The answers are like bullshit, you know, because I can't tell you how many carbs to eat. I can't tell you if you should do fasting. I don't know anything about you, your genetics, your supplement use, your calorie intake, your training regimen, even your day job. There's two people, two twin brothers, or two twin sisters, the same exact metabolism, same genetics, and they're both losing weight. One is losing weight on 2,500 calories, and one is losing the same amount of weight at 2,000 calories. How is that possible? The one that's eating more calories and getting the same results with the same exercise, same amount of exercise, might have a more physical intensive job. So you might be working in a warehouse, walking and picking up boxes. Whereas the other one that has to eat less calories to lose the same weight is an accountant who sits behind the desk all day long. So you guys have to try things and see if it's working for you. If you're a very speedy person, some people are just very active personality. They talk fast, they move fast, they walk fast. You burn more calories. If you're a slow, calm, cool, collected person, you'll burn less calories. Cardio during the bulking off season. That's another question. Again, many variables. Some guys don't need to do it. They stay lean. If you put on fat easy, then you need to do some cardio. But besides looks and body fat, body composition, it's good to do at least some to keep your heart in shape. All right, guys. Till next time.